Yo, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Macro Crypto, where we talk about anything and everything involving the crypto space. So if you do enjoy the content and like the video, subscribe to the channel, head over to the Twitter page, and give us a follow at Macro Crypto Club. Like always, though, link will be down in the description. Let's dive into today's content. We are talking about our weekly DCA, not the sexiest way to invest into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other smart contract platforms, but dollar costing averaging, we're going to try to make DCA sexy. It's that simple. Best way to invest into the projects and platforms that you believe in over time. None of this is financial advice, though, purely for entertainment purposes only. Just keep that in the back of your pocket there. Do your own research over time. But with that being said, DCA into the projects that you want. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You literally have the projects that you want in your portfolio over time right in front of you. Why not weekly, daily, monthly, however you want to play it, with the price that you want to play it at? Consistently buy into the platform that you believe is going to be here and worth more in 5 years, 10 years down the line, and continue to build more wealth and continue to build that base out in your portfolio with the best asset over time. In our opinion, Bitcoin, the king of crypto, or the prince of crypto, ETH, maybe one day even flips Bitcoin. Who knows? Nobody knows. But those two assets will outperform anything and everything, in my opinion. I do love Polkadot, though. That is an asset that has an opportunity to really kick some ass over time. I think it's going to be the number 3 asset class. Of course, I'm a little biased because I have a bag of it. It's that simple. But those are my 3, and it'll continue being my 3. And then if it ever does change, you'll know it here first. But I don't see it happening. So much decentralization happening within those projects, and that's the number 1 value that I hold dear to my heart. So let's go ahead, look into the king of crypto itself, the Heikin Ashi Candles Bitcoin chart over time. If you haven't seen this enough, you can't see it enough, really, to be honest with you. Bitcoin, from the start of time to where it is now, is in a bullish trend year after year after year. Yes, we go up and we go down, but it doesn't matter. Bitcoin is worth more today, and it has outperformed every asset in the last 10 years in the entire world. I'll repeat that. It has outperformed every asset in the last 10 years. Every asset in the world, outperformance. If that doesn't tell you to get yourself some DCA into Bitcoin, I don't know what will. Okay, yeah, there's so much noise, so much different crypto or NFTs and DeFi, so much that you can do with your money in today's day and age. Set a little bit aside and put some DCA in, dollar cost and averaging. Can't say enough. I think I've said DCA already like 10 plus times in this video. Okay, but that's our weekly video we're talking about. Best performing asset in the world. Hope I'm getting through to you, okay? Get yourself that type of performance over the next 5 to 10 years and keep adding a bag weekly, monthly, however you want to do it and how much you want to do it. Just do it consistently, okay? And you'll be able to follow along and get simple reminders here. But when we take a tighter view into our Heikin Ashi Candles, remember, Heikin Ashi Candles takes out the noise, removes noise. We're not going to go in depth on it. If you do want to get a nice in-depth view of Heikin Ashi Candles, I highly recommend Benjamin Cohen's videos. Here, we're just showing you what we've learned there, okay? But simply, we are getting a small candle right now with a little tiny wick below. This is a beautiful sight for us to see because we hate to see those long candles down. We do eventually, as the week progresses, we would love to see a nice wick above it. That means we got some bulls fighting. And if we look at the price action, we are getting a little bit of movement up towards that 39,000. Would love to see us tackle that at some point during this week and maybe get a reversal and a change from this bearish phase that we're currently in. Who knows? Nobody knows, but we can guess, right? Along the way, Bitcoin has some crazy news. More specifically, the crypto market, Visa and crypto-linked credit cards or debit cards, however they utilize it, whether that's through Coinbase or crypto.com, 2.5 billion in the first quarter. $2.5 billion used through crypto-linked cards. People are using crypto to spend money. I wouldn't say to use it through Visa, but that's just my personal opinion, but hey, it's being used, and that's a bullish signal. I think eventually the blockchain will just outpace Visa, and Visa will no longer be around. But that's light years away. Into the El Salvador president predicts gigantic price increase for Bitcoin. Get these guys some laser eyes. Of course he does. Hopefully he believes that because he has so much Bitcoin for the country, and he's the one that took a chance, right? He's that first person that's dancing, and hopefully we get everybody else a second person. Turkey, looking at you. Hey, maybe even Arizona, get into creating Bitcoin as legal tender. That second one is going to help catapult a third, fourth, fifth, and you'll start to see the dominoes fall over time. But El Salvador's president, hey, being that first person, hats off to you, bud. And hopefully this only allows for more adoption along the way. But at least he's still a firm believer in Bitcoin. Of course, it's very easy to be all about that FUD, especially with this Paul Krugman, a Nobel Prize winner previously. Is economics is, before we go too deep into this guy is such a FUD, a fear, uncertain, and doubt, if you didn't know what that meant, into the crypto space. He once even believed that Bitcoin was a Ponzi scheme, and in the way that he views as Ponzi schemes, everything that is priced in the world is a Ponzi scheme. Then essentially, if you're the first adopter into something, as the price goes up, that first mover, of course, benefits. Just how the world works, right? With stocks or anything. So Bitcoin as a Ponzi scheme is laughable. And what I do take away from this is anytime that there is so much FUD happening in the market, expect the opposite. I'm not saying that anyone should be throwing all their money into Bitcoin currently, because obviously we're talking about DCA, dollar cost average. But over time, what I do find hilarious is that this is disturbing parallels with the subprime mortgage meltdown that he's talking about with the financial crash of the housing market back in 2008. What's beautiful about that, if he is calling for that, then fine. If you're DCAing your way into this, then the housing market has rebounded significantly well, if you ask me. And you look around at the housing market today in comparison to what happened in 2008, if you kept dollar costing your way into the housing market, you'd be sitting pretty. Guess what? You have that opportunity even if Bitcoin does crash. Who cares? Dollar cost average your way into the best asset over time, because at the end of the day, crashing today, crashing tomorrow, you're going to be fine in the long run, in the macro view. And lastly, within the news of Bitcoin, bill introduced to make Bitcoin a legal tender in Arizona. As a resident of Arizona, nothing gets me more excited than knowing that Bitcoin can become legal tender here. Not going to happen, in my opinion. I know I don't want to be a fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I just don't think it's going to be the first state to do it, especially with the federal government overseeing everything. I'd find it wild if this came to fruition. And I would love the shit out of it. I would be all over this, hyped up. I'm hyped up just knowing that someone even introduced a bill within the Arizona Senate, which is awesome to hear. It's just going to be, we have a difficult time ahead of us, especially with government adoption within cryptocurrencies and how much of a fight we're going to see with the IMF and the banks in general. Banks, like if you notice within Russia, the Russian bank, of course, banned crypto. They have no say within the country. Their bank doesn't accept crypto. Like all banks, there is going to be a fight between the banks, the IMF, and the cryptocurrencies. And how other governments adopt it along the way is yet to be seen. So it's going to be a wild ride for the next couple of years. 100%. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but knowing that we got a little bit of introduction with the bill for Bitcoin to become legal tender in Arizona, it's awesome to see. I'm very ecstatic about it, if you can tell by my enthusiasm shown in this video. But regardless, let's go ahead, get to why we're here, the DCA talk. I've already put it in. We're doing $100. Remember, you can do more if you want, $1,000, $500, $50, whatever's in your budget. Never put more than you can handle into cryptocurrencies. Basically, put in what you're willing to lose at the end of the day. And what we're doing here is we're doing 2 sets, our monthly and our weekly. Currently, right now, you'll notice that our weekly total is just right above our monthly total. We've spent roughly, or we have spent exactly the same, $400 for the month of January for 4 weeks. Into February, there's going to be 4 weeks. So once February next Monday hits, we'll hit another 400, and we'll just slowly start building up $100 for every Monday, and continuously show you where we're at right now with this decrease. This is always going to give you the current price of Bitcoin. As you can tell, this was done earlier because Bitcoin has gone up, or nope, now it's down. Up and down we go, roller coaster ride. But profit loss, we're right now sitting at $11.28 on a loss currently with our weekly DCA. If we were doing it monthly, we're sitting at a $32.67 loss. But we're just trying to add up on our Bitcoin. More importantly, how many Satoshis we are getting over time. Remember, if you can say, hey, I got 1 million Satoshis one day, that's going to be a flex. It's just matter of fact. It is. The more Satoshis you have, the lowest denomination of Bitcoin will be a flex. You heard it here first, okay? Just remember that. Keep that in your back pocket. Now, as we DCA our way into Ether, DOT, ADA, Luna, Solana, even weak ass Tron, I will always tell you that I am just a hater of Tron. You should be too. We all should. Tron is just a copycat of a protocol, but we're going to we throw it in here because of how ridiculous this is over time. And it's actually the best performing asset this month so far in comparison to how much, Avalanche is also there, how everything else is going over time. So it's kind of ironic that Tron's performing that well, but it'll be nowhere to be seen once it's all said and done. Total profit and loss, of course, with Ethereum, Polkadot, all the way across to Avalanche. We did add Avalanche. Definitely a believer in Avalanche over the long haul. I don't have any in my portfolio, nor do I have Luna, Solana, Tron, or even Cardano. It's just those first two for me. But Avalanche is something that I would consider putting a bag forth just because of its decentralization factors. And, when I do, you'll be the first to know about it. Outside of myself, of course. Now, surprise, surprise, we talked about previously Luna last week, holding strong with its price action, just getting demolished within this last week. Price of Luna is just, getting obliterated. But as you see across the board here, Ethereum is actually holding a nice loss of only $19.42 during this downtrend. As you can tell, Tron is the number one performer of only losing $16.83. F you, Tron. And here we go, looking at the biggest loser, Luna, which was having a strong week last week, but followed behind with Solana and then Polkadot and Cardano side by side here. So there is our price action, our build into our weekly DCA so that you can follow along. Remember, if there's something that you truly want on a smart contract platform wise for me to follow along on top of what we already are doing, throw it in the comment section below. I'll be glad to add that so you can get a side by side and maybe give you a I told you so along the way. I hope you enjoyed today's content. We're all about giving you the most ability to create wealth for yourself. Just an opinion. All the way through, true and true. Give us a follow, like the video, subscribe to the channel, everybody. Until next time, peace.